Hello and welcome back to the Flat Chat. You're here with me, Callum and Heggie. Unfortunately, we're missing Aaron due to COVID. A few of the other boys, Jacob's on a leash with his girlfriend. So it's just the two of us. And of course, we're reviewing the first game week of the Premier League. It's been a good week, hasn't it?
Yeah, very good start.
Yeah, it's been a good start. Started off, of course, on the Friday night with my team Arsenal.
Very happy for you.
Oh, of course I'm very happy. The thing is, going into the game, I was worried. I was very worried. I've got flashbacks, PTSD a wee bit actually, from last year. Not only when we lost to Crystal Palace last season, but also the first game of last season where we went to a ground that we were, you know, it's a ground that they were all up for it. They were ready, and that obviously got the players were obviously, you know, had a big serious boost from that.
Yeah.
And obviously Arsenal weren't ready for it. At Brentford I'm talking about, of course, we had a few injuries and COVID issues. But this season I just felt like, because it's Palace, again it's Selhurst Park, you know what it's like, that we're going to struggle again. And it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Came out the blocks fast, very, very fast, very good football for the first 25 minutes or so.
Yeah. Before we go in depth into this, do you want to put it on the screen, our points for the predictions we made?
I was going to say we'll just show our points at the end, just
right,
what we had, just
okay.
what our table of
right,
what we got.
That's fine.
For well, reference to that, that is, we've got actually our predictions with there's 6 of us in it, and we're doing our predictions for each of the 10 games from that game week, and we've got point tally. At the end of the season, we will have a.
We've kind of decided the forfeit.
We've kind of decided the forfeit. So the forfeit's going to be, so the person that's in last place in the table at the 6 will have to go and spend, 24 hours in any McDonald's of their choosing. And to lose an hour, they have to eat an item. An item from McDonald's. It has to be different items. You can't repeat, like, say an apple pie, and that'll get rid of an hour if you have one. So you're going to come away, you know, very tired or very fat.
Morbidly obese.
Yeah, so thankfully I'm not at the bottom. See, I'll save that for the end. But that's going to be the end of the season, of course, and that'll all get added up weekly. So yeah, on to Arsenal and Palace. What did you think of the game?
I thought Arsenal were very, very good, especially the first half. They came out all guns blazing.
Yeah.
They controlled the ball. They were passing it about like Man City.
Yeah.
The addition of Zinchenko and Jesus clearly rubbing off in the other Arsenal players.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a very good start to the game for Arsenal. And then the set piece as well with the first goal from Martinelli.
Yeah, that's been worked on in the training ground, hasn't it? It was a great header back in from Zinchenko, wasn't it?
I'm surprised Martinelli got in the end of it, because he's not the tallest.
That's the thing, he's actually a striker.
Yeah.
And he's playing out in that left wing, and he's making that his position. But that's what you've got, that's what these top teams need to do. They need to have, it's like their wingers have to be strikers.
Yeah.
It's like Salah, for example, at Liverpool. He's a striker. I know he is. You know, he's always been a winger, but he's like a forward, right? Forward.
They have to all have different positions that they can adapt to.
And they score goals. They're not just putting balls into the box. They are scoring goals, and that's what Martinelli did. He got into the end of a head, of a Zinchenko ball back in.
Yeah.
Which was a very well worked goal. I don't know if Palace have issues defending set pieces from last season or not. I think they mentioned that in the game. I'm not too sure if that's something they had trouble with. But Zaha didn't follow his man, and
it was another player as well who was on Zinchenko. It was the centre mid, the new boy, Doucouré. He just completely left Zinchenko and let him run to the back post. Zaha didn't cover the space either.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. As the game went on, Arsenal started to retreat a little bit. Palace started to come on to them, grew into the game. And then again, it's the second positive point from Arsenal. They were really resilient. There was a few chances. I can think of 2 chances. The one I think Eze had, probably should do better. Ramsdale did well to come out. He was quick to close the space. But again, I think Eze should score that. A better player, or a more composed player maybe, does put that in the back of the net. I mean, for example, even Martinelli's chance, a more composed player puts that at the back of the net.
It went with his wrong foot.
Yeah. And the other one for Palace, the header from Edouard, and it was he needs to put that low into the ground, and he hasn't. And it's just.
I thought he did well to get it on target, but I thought that was a hard chance. Because someone jumped in front of him and it was missighted a little bit. But realistically, a top striker does put that bottom corner and it's 1-1.
Yeah, and that changed the game big time.
But Arsenal just let Palace have the ball all of the second half as well. It's
frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. As an Arsenal fan, it's frustrating to watch that, but it does tend to work when you do have certain players in the back line.
Well, they had confidence in Zinchenko and Saliba.
Yeah,
and
we've not mentioned about Saliba. Of course, this is his first Premier League game for Arsenal, and my oh my, he's good.
He was man of the match.
Man of the match, he's good. He's very good. He has
a Rolls Royce.
He has a Rolls Royce. He has a Rolls Royce. There was, I think, Gary Neville mentioned that he was. Reminded him of a young Rio Ferdinand, and I'm like, right, hold your horses, Gary. I'll rate the praise, but calm down a wee bit. We want to make sure we keep the guy. You know, he's only got 2 years left in his contract, and he would. I think honestly, I could see him playing for Real Madrid one day. Not to say that Arsenal aren't a big club either, but it's just they always love especially French players. They love a bit of Real Madrid.
It was just a very good defensive performance all round by Arsenal, and Ben White was getting a bit criticised on commentary, but I thought he did really well defensively.
He did.
It was just offensively, he's clearly not an attacking right back. He's there just to stop whatever Zaha was going to be doing. I
think with Ben White, he's good on the ball in terms of he's able to pick a pass, he's got time to pick a pass, a long pass as well.
But not down the line.
Not down the line, not in tight spaces, which for a Man City player, for example, you have to be.
Yeah.
For an Arsenal player, where they're trying to be quite similar to what Man City are like, you have to be even more technical in those sort of areas, and he wasn't. But he did do quite well with Zaha. I think there was only one time he got caught out when he pulled him back and got the yellow card.
Zaha just got too frustrated again. Yeah. What he always does. Yeah. And it became an easy game for White to manage.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair to Zaha did play fairly well. He probably was their best player. Actually, no, he wasn't. Anderson was excellent. Some of the balls he was actually playing, he was diagonal balls in behind Ben White into that space that Saliba was forced to defend quite a lot, which he did deal with quite well. That was the danger. It was those two. That diagonal ball.
Anderson had to have been watching videos of Xavi before that game because his passing was unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, good. So they held out. They said they managed to get the second goal. Really good move. And then, of course, they were very fortunate in the shot from Saka. Well, the cross from Saka.
He just didn't set his feet.
He didn't set his feet, no. And I think with a bit more experience, I think he will. He'll get better with that sort of thing. I didn't think Gay had a good game, to be honest.
No, he didn't.
He was a bit all over the place.
I think there'll be a good centre-back partnership against lesser teams, though, because Anderson's clearly a playmaker in the way he is just a physical specimen. Yeah. And he will build up cycles.
Bodied by Jesus in that chance. Yeah, there was a chance Jesus bodied him, goes through, plays a ball in, and Odegaard, we're going to talk about Odegaard quickly. He's a great player. He's so technical and stuff. He needs to shoot more. Yeah. He really needs to try. He tried to pass. Yeah, he was. You know what? That is it. He reminds me of Ozil. It was like, you look great, you are great, but like try and shoot more. Just like you're in chance. You have a chance. Yeah, but that's the only real negative side. And maybe
that's not really much of a negative. I know. It's just
but the other thing with Arsenal, try and control the game more, and they let Palace into the game too much. And I get they were showing the resilience and stuff, but I would rather feel. But I think even Arteta said it. There's a few things they need to work on, and it is, of course, that second half and controlling it. So yeah, 2-0, and I think you got that right, didn't you?
I did get it right.
You got that right. Unfortunately, I didn't have as much faith. I didn't go for the clean sheet.
It was the only one I had right. I started off well.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the 12:30 kick-off. Fulham Liverpool.
Yes.
And I think everyone was predicting a Liverpool win, and quite an emphatic win.
I did say in the video it was going to be a tight game. I had 2-1.
But you weren't bold enough to say that they got points.
Yeah.
But I still thought, even when they were losing the first time, and then again when they went behind, I still had a feeling that they were going to win the game. Just because I didn't expect them to drop points the first game of the season.
I was very impressed with Fulham.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be totally fine this season.
Well, I did predict that, to be fair.
Yeah, so it felt like. Do you remember the game 2 seasons ago? Norwich felt exactly the same. Only they got a result and Norwich didn't.
And that's why Norwich went down.
Yeah, I don't think this team's going to go down. I think Mitrovic is just too good a striker for a bottom tier team to go down. Also, Andreas Pereira had a very good game. I know it was playing a lot of balls in behind and it was just a wee bit overhit and stuff, but on another day, Mitrovic, he'll play it at the right pace, and Mitrovic will run through and go and get a chance. Paulinho as well.
Yeah, I don't know how they've managed to get him, and no one else went in for him. To me, he seems like a good bit of business, like a Leicester would do, but obviously they're struggling to actually bring in anyone. But I think it's really, really good business. Fulham there.
Paulinho was playing like Rodri. He was just bullying everyone in the midfield. He bullied Henderson at one stage.
Was that not Mitrovic?
Oh yeah, it was actually Mitrovic. No, but Paulinho was just flying about in the midfield, winning all the tackles, winning every header. Just a great bit of business, really. Yeah. And that was without Solomon as well.
He did manage to come up. He did come up.
It was only for a few minutes at the end, a wee cameo.
Yeah, he will. I think he'll be a serious player. I've had him as my surprise player for the season. I think that's going to be an excellent midfield.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Liverpool a wee bit now?
Well, of course we're going to talk about Liverpool because they dropped points and to a team you didn't expect them to.
Yeah, the title's over in the first week.
I wouldn't go that far. No. But it's not great. Klopp was visibly angry, very angry.
Well, it was a dry pitch, so the drop
pitch. He whipped out an excuse, but I think he was more annoyed at the fact his team didn't show any passion and commitment. And
Fulham were just up for the game much more than Liverpool were.
Aye, they were. They definitely were. And even players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think I saw that stat. He gave the ball away something like 38 times. But again, that's a big part of that's down to Fulham and how well they were at pressing as a unit as well, which is what you want to see. We've seen teams that have tried to press, like Man United in the past, that have just pressed, but it's been so scattered. And from Fulham's point of view, I think Fulham they all praised them, and I think Marco Silva was pretty annoyed at the end as well, but they only managed to leave with a point.
Yeah, so they're the better team for large parts of the game.
Liverpool obviously had a lot of the ball, but they just weren't as dangerous. There was spells, of course, for Liverpool, of course there is, and of course Salah got his goal. He has to get his goal. Everyone's got him in fantasy. You just can't risk it, can you? He's going to get a goal. It'll bobble to him, and it might be a dodgy touch from Nunez that does it, and it was. It definitely was.
I think there was 2 positives for Liverpool and 2 negatives. The 2 positives were Salah and Nunez, because they got in the score sheet, they've got the season up and running. But the 2 negatives were definitely Thiago going off injured.
That's massive. That's a hamstring as well, I think. Yeah. I wonder how long he's out for.
He did walk off, so it might not be as bad as it first looked.
Still not ideal, because they're not strong in midfield compared to other teams around them.
And the second negative for me was Van Dijk looked human. He has not looked human before.
Aye. Is that maybe just because it's a Mitrovic?
I don't know though, because
he's a big.
He's dealt with Haaland before.
I know he has, but Van Dijk struggled with other players like that. He struggled a wee bit with Tony. I remember that. But there's big, strong, physical players like that.
There's a lot of strikers like that in the league though. Like, maybe that's a cause for concern for Liverpool, but it is Van Dijk at the end of the day. It could have just been an off day, and he's going to be back to normal next week.
I mean,
and who are they playing next week? Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace at home, I think it is. And Crystal Palace just off the back of a defeat, but they're away, so we'll see how that goes. I think they will bounce back, Liverpool, if I'm honest. I think they'll actually beat Palace by quite some margin, if I'm honest. I think they will. I think they'll have to. Definitely. So on to the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Are we surprised? Because a lot of people thought that Villa were going to walk away with this one.
I thought they were going to win.
I thought they were going to win as well. Yeah. But Bournemouth, fair play to them. They got that
terrible start for Villa.
Yeah, I think that's what played into Bournemouth's hands. The fact that they got that early goal and they were able to just sit. Villa didn't look great. I think it was you that was telling me about Gabby Abomahor saying that Coutinho was just didn't look arsed, just wasn't bothering his shirt, to be honest. It's just they've made a lot of signings, a lot of new players having to integrate into the team, and we've seen in the past how that can affect teams' starts of the season. And Gerrard under serious risk of losing his job.
Yeah, there's 1 game in, there's pressure already.
Exactly.
There was a stat today, he's got the same win percentage as Gary Neville did at Valencia.
When he got
the hoof.
Aye, well, there you go. Exactly, there you go. The race between him and Frank Lampard. Jeez.
We'll go on to him a bit later.
But yeah, it's like good. I mean, even that goal from Moore.
Yeah,
Kiefer Moore. That was some header.
Yeah,
that's a great header.
Right back across goal.
It's the way it was floated in. It's been floated in, and you think, well, that's over everyone's head. And the way he's just led back and he's just put it back in the reverse.
He's an absolute giant as
well,
isn't he?
He's huge. Martinez had no chance. Like, it's just a very, very good header. And Villa just looking shaky. Looking shaky. Good result for Bournemouth, who everyone had, I think,
everyone had 20th.
Everyone had 20th, not just relegated, but dead last. Has that result changed anything for you?
I don't
still think they're going down?
I still think they'll go down, but I think it's more of a showing on Villa rather than Bournemouth.
I think you're right. I don't think Bournemouth were that emphatic. I think they just, that early goal did let it happen.
Yeah, they do play in a fortress as well, where the early goal just erupted. The Vitality Stadium is just so tight and so narrow, and the noise just lifts all the players. No, but good result for Bournemouth.
Of course, very good.
Terrible for Villa, obviously.
At the top of the table.
Yeah.
After game week 1. We'll see how they do next week. That'll really be a test for them. Do you know who they've got next week?
I don't know.
We're going to find that out.
Have a wee look right now.
Have a wee look.
Who is it, Bournemouth?
Bournemouth.
They are away to Man City, so...
Right, okay, so... if they win that, I think we have to reassess where we think they're going to finish. Maybe.
6 points in the board guaranteed.
That's it. They're safe.
Yeah.
Right, okay, and on to the next game, which was Leeds taking on Wolves. I didn't know what to expect of this one. I didn't know what to expect of Leeds, and I also didn't really know what to expect with Wolves. No Jimenez. What did you think about this? The result, 2-1.
I had Leeds winning on our predictions, but I think they looked pretty good from what we saw. We obviously only saw the highlights because it was a 3 o'clock game, but no, I think that looked like an entertaining game.
Yeah.
Remember, it had the longest half in the history in Match of the Day.
Oh, I know. I remember I was watching Match of the Day, and I think there was about 10 clips just in the first half.
Yeah.
Absolute chaos. And I'll tell you who else was chaos. Their keeper, Sa.
Yeah.
I had him down as team of the season from last year, and oh my god, what is he doing? How do you think they gave away a penalty?
I know.
When he came out and he punched one of the Leeds players. I mean, chaotic. He's a good shot stopper, but I've always said that he had this sort of side on him. He's so erratic, and I mean, yeah, it showed, definitely showed, because it unsettles the back line as well.
Yeah.
And Wolves, I think Wolves actually played in a 4. Which I think they tried that out for a wee while. I'm not sure if they changed back to a 5 during the game. But yeah, fair play to Leeds, and there was a few standouts for Leeds from what I could see.
I thought there was a few standouts for both teams. I think Aronson looked dangerous for Leeds.
That's what I was thinking initially.
Yeah. I did call him the Leeds version of Pulisic, but it looked dangerous where he was creating chances.
But Pulisic would stand out in our Leeds, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He just doesn't stand out for Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think that's probably quite a fair
and he's very young as well.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton, there was Neto who had a few clips on Twitter of skills he was doing.
I know.
No, but he looked good as well. Even the way he was touching the ball and turning quick, he looks back to full fitness.
He obviously didn't get the assist or goal for Wolves, but he was a massive part. He wins the ball back high up the pitch, plays the ball into a nice ball into Hwang. Heads it down, and then a great finish from Podence. Hits it straight to the ground. You can't even have a go at Meslier there.
And it hit the post as well.
No, it bounced in off the bar. And she could not save that. Very, very good strike. On the other hand, Rodrigo, though, his shot was one near post. Sa's got to do better.
He got a hand to it as well.
I think it was actually just the way they were trying to clear it as well. Wolves, they just weren't. It was not very like Wolves, especially from the way we saw them last season. They only conceded something like 38 goals.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the own goal.
There was a good ball in across low, and he had to do something. Aronson was going to.
Aronson was putting it in the mark. He thinks he got the goal.
Yeah.
He thinks it touched his toe. That's what he claimed. But yeah, Leeds getting a win. Of course, at home as well.
Yeah.
Must have been a big factor. We'll be very happy.
Aaron will be happy with that. He has COVID, but he's got a wee bit of a positive spin on the weekend. On to the next game, Newcastle versus Forest, another one of the newly promoted teams.
Yeah.
I think this went exactly how people thought it was
going to go. In fact, actually, I think it surprised me a wee bit. I expected a wee bit more from Forest. Newcastle were very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton completely controlled that midfield. I know they had Willock in there as well, who did play well. They completely controlled it. And I'm getting a bit jealous that we didn't actually sign him, Bruno Guimaraes, in January. He would have been good. I think I would have taken him instead of... I mean, I do like Xhaka, but slots right in there. He's a good player. Even Joelinton's playing well.
Yeah, there's clearly good chemistry between those two.
Yeah.
Joelinton missed a big chance.
It was a big chance, but he created the chance all completely himself. He bursting through the midfield.
But you expect a player that used to be a striker when he's 18 yards out to at least hit the target. It was like a clear shot he had and he scuffed it wide, but that was really the only negative you could really say about Joelinton in that game. He was just flying about the midfield again like he was last season.
And obviously the goals as well. When they actually did come, Newcastle could have had about 3 or 4 in that first half, seriously. But the goal did come from an unlikely source. Well, actually, it's not as unlikely as we think. Because Shar's done this before.
Yeah.
Just coming in from that right-hand side and absolutely smashes it near post. There's a spitting image of that goal. He scored against the exact same goal. I thought it was a replay. Maybe against someone that played in claret and blue. I think they scored against last time. One of them.
Yeah.
And it's some strike. Fair play to him. Some strike. That got it going. And of course, Wilson get the second. Who I think I know Shar's goal was outstanding. Wilson's goal was so clever.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
I think he's completely meant that. He's thinking he's got to get to the ball before the defender. He thinks, what's the smartest way to get that in? And he's chipped the keeper pretty much.
From 12 yards out, and he's got the loft perfectly on.
It's so good. Such a good finish.
And Shar's goal as well. I thought Henderson on first look should have done better, but it's absolutely scalped off the post. He's got no chance. Yeah, and the Wilson goal as well. It was a good slide tackle from the defender to stop the shot going low, but Wilson was just far too smart for him.
It was so good. It was my favourite goal of the weekend.
Yeah,
that was my favourite goal. I mean, it probably wasn't the best. Won't go down. Like Shar's goal will probably get into the goal of the month categories.
Yeah, and there was 2 more today in the Leicester game. One for Leicester and one for Brentford that might get into that category as well.
Quickly on Forest though, I think it's just going to take a wee bit of time. They've made a lot of changes to their team. It'll take a bit of time to get it settled. Maybe that first home game, we'll get the crowd behind them, and we'll see what we can expect from them. Of course, we've got Lingard and stuff.
Do we know who their first home game is? We should probably check that as well, just to see if it's a winnable game. So Forest. West Ham at the weekend. Tough game, but they are at home.
Yeah. They are at home.
And they might be on a low as well from what happened just a few hours ago from when we were recording.
Yeah.
But
fair play.
Yeah.
On to Tottenham Southampton. I got a little excited 12 minutes in. A little excited. But I didn't expect it to stay the way it did. I expected them to actually... I didn't expect to score as many as they did, as early as they did. I thought it would take them a wee bit of time. I thought they would equalise and Spurs would then get the winner late in the game. They didn't do that. Ward-Prowse scored a good goal to start with.
I'd say that was my favourite goal of the weekend.
I liked that he also bounced it into the ground, didn't he? Yeah, very good goal. It's just Ward-Prowse was a part. Ward-Prowse was the standout for Southampton. Let's get that straight first. He was the standout. There wasn't many that played particularly great for Southampton, but Spurs didn't let them. Let's be honest. They didn't let them. Sessegnon got the first. It was actually a great ball very good ball from Kulusevski, who did manage to get to the score sheet, but he was so good throughout.
He was definitely man of the match from what we saw.
Yeah, he definitely was. The second goal, Eric Dyer.
Happy for you in your
very good. He's in my fantasy. He came in on Friday morning, smashing. Got a wee header. Great stuff.
Salisu and goal, it was a bit of a howler.
That was a howler. That was a howler. He's gone with that wrong foot, to be honest.
He's just side-footed it into the back of the net.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
And they were clearly still rattled, because 2 minutes later, Kulusevski had all the time in the world in the 18-yard box.
We were watching it match today again, and just you can see, right, he's got a full half of the goal just to pass the ball into near enough, and it's a good finish. He has the composure to score that. And fair play to him. Not a lot of players would have.
Does anything about this game worry you as an Arsenal fan?
Just Spurs being good worries me, to be honest. Winning by 4-1.
The resilience from
being down, coming back, worries me. Conte being there is enough to worry me.
Yeah.
But it's because they're up against Southampton though, and they don't really worry me. They had a terrible end to last season, like terrible. And so I'll wait and see how they do next week against Chelsea, and I don't really want them to win either, to be honest.
Yeah. I was surprised with Southampton. They played their Rebo as high up the pitch.
Yeah, it was a 3-5-2, and he was one of the two, wasn't he?
I thought at Rangers his best work came either on the right wing or as one of the attacking midfielders. It was really strange. I thought for him to be an out-and-out striker.
Aye. But that's the thing. Southampton they just didn't look They didn't look right. First game of the season, up against a Conte side with some top players.
And Perisic made a cameo as well.
Yeah.
Getting some running in those legs.
Those legs. I have to wait and see before we make a decision on whether he's going to be any good this season.
Did Suma come on?
He did. Apparently Bentancur played really well though. He was the one that excited a lot of the Spurs players. Spurs fans, of course, alongside Kulusevski. Kane didn't get the score sheet though.
Which was upsetting for me, who was my captain.
And for a lot of us, to be honest, in fantasy, we all had him, but of course you had him as your captain, whereas the rest of us had Salah, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see how they do against a bigger side. No disrespect to Southampton, but a bigger side in Chelsea next week.
That'll be a good game.
And on to Chelsea. They of course did get a really good result actually, away to Everton. Yep. Always a tough place to go.
Especially for Chelsea, who've struggled there very recently.
Yeah. 1-0, it was down to a penalty, but at the same time...
You have to be happy if you're a Chelsea fan.
You have to be happy with that. Goodison's a tough place to go. I know more than most. As an Arsenal fan, it's rough. It can be rough. The crowd get on your back, and of course they get the Everton players really going. They do get them going in ways that they're flying into challenge, things like that, and that did kind of lead to
a horror injury
for actually one of their players, Godfrey. It's a wee shame for him, but
no, it was preventable as well because the ball was out.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's flew in, his foot's got trapped in the turf.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's nothing much we can do.
There was a few injuries in the game actually. I think a few players came off injured. Koulibaly came off injured at one point. I don't know if that was just
maybe tiredness
a wee bit. I mean, he's new to the game. He did play pretty well. I think from Chelsea's point of view, they can say their new signings like Sterling and Koulibaly were probably the better players.
Sterling was very dangerous from what I saw. Right. I had it on, but I was just keeping an eye on it. It was a bit of a snooze fest. Yeah, it did look like a bit of a snooze fest, to be fair. And they did Chelsea. The goal they got was a penalty as well. A blatant penalty. Decore's just all over his man. Barged in the back. And it's cool as you like. Jorginho slots it away. Puts it right in the corner. He did the last time against Pickford, but Pickford second guessed himself and went the other way. Yeah. So of course that was England, wasn't it? Yeah. But they're just Chelsea. They'll be happy with that. The real test will be next week when they play against Spurs. Same way for Spurs with Chelsea. That's who they'll be looking at. It'll really show who is the favourite for top four. Yeah. Because I think it is two teams between Chelsea, Arsenal and Tottenham that will get top four along with Liverpool and City. Yeah. Obviously. I think Liverpool with that result, for example, I think they're still going to be in about. They will be first or second most likely. But Chelsea, we'll see how they do next week. At the 4:30 kickoff, the main game for next week. What's your early prediction for that game? For that game, I might have to change it by that. I think they will draw. I think it'll be a 1-1. That's what Arsenal will be hoping for anyway. I'm really hoping for a draw there. I don't want Chelsea winning it, obviously, and I definitely don't want Spurs winning it. So it's pretty simple for me. 1-1. But on to the first game of the Sunday. This game wasn't televised, but we have obviously seen the goals. Leicester 2, Brentford 2. Leicester 2-0 up, and that was through a Castagna header. Good ball in, good header. I don't know if I expect that of him. Castagna. I didn't realise he would be one in the middle. Yeah, no, did I. He's a fullback, isn't he? Or wing back or whatever. Yeah. And then a screamer from Dewsbury Hall. Very good finish, in off the post, unsavable really. It's low, hard, first time as well. He takes far out. Very far out, yeah. Another contender for goal of the month. What goal do you think was better, Dewsbury Hall's or Charles? I think Dewsbury Hall's looks nicer, but I think Shaw might get it because he's a defender. I don't know. I think it's because it looks nice because I think when it's higher it looks nicer, doesn't it? Than a low driven shot. But it was so far out. It was very, very impressive. Really good technique. But Leicester. They were 2-0 up. You're thinking, okay, fair enough, fair play. That was going into half time as well. Yeah. No, the second half, right at the start of the second half, Dewsbury Hall scored. And you're thinking, Leicester, maybe the players that are potentially leaving, there's not going to be as much upset as you thought there would be in the camp. And then, of course, Tony gets a go back. They crumbled. They did crumble a wee bit. Tony
simple ball into the box, holds off his man, and he just fires it into the net. Really
nice finish.
Nice finish, and it's typical Tony, really, isn't it? Strong, powerful, and just knows where the goal is. Really, I'll be interested to see how many goals he can get this season. See if it'll be more than what he did last season.
I think based on today, it's going to be around the same as what he got last season. Or was it between 12 and 15? I don't know the exact number.
It might have been 12.
Yeah, but no, I think Brentford will be heavily reliant on Tony this season, and their fortune will be based on his performances throughout the season. They just really need to hope he doesn't get injured. Yeah.
We'll see well.
And then the second goal was just so easy as well. Like
it was a good finish, very good finish from De Silva.
Yeah.
And I know we're saying obviously they're relying on Tony, but they've managed to get a point here. A grounds maybe they didn't expect to.
Yeah.
But with the way Leicester are right now, maybe they're not the Leicester of old that we've been used to for the last few years anyway.
I think Leicester need to be worried based on what they saw today, especially with their big players still there in play.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to be like when they're not
I know.
there?
We've talked about resilience with, for example, an Arsenal for hanging on, not letting not giving away a goal, not giving away any massive chances really, and Spurs as well, with going a goal behind and coming back. Whereas
zero
that's
resilience.
Definitely not what we saw with Spurs with Leicester today.
And on to another team with zero resilience, Manchester United.
Yeah, again different though because they would have to come back from being 2-0 down actually in the first half. Simple goals to concede as well. Danny Welbeck played really well, running in behind Maguire actually, and
great ball from Trossard, the first one, and then he's obviously just found his man at the back post.
Yeah, and it's simple. He's just strolling in at the back post. He's got no one around him. It's just there's got to be question marks raised here about why they've got that space there.
Why is that a 2-on-1 at the back post?
You've got to be looking at. I know Shaw obviously. People moan at him straight away because that's what Man United fans will do. They'll just be simple with it.
It'll be the scapegoat.
He will be the scapegoat here because he's the fullback, and he rightfully you should be, because he should be getting moaned at by Man United fans. But because he's not screaming at his centre midfielders, one of Fred or McTominay to get in there, help out, means he can cover that back, the player drifting in, or for them to cover him. And again, their left midfielder, I think that was Rashford. Yeah, and on to Rashford, terrible game. He played terribly again. He's continued his poor form that he picked up that he had last season.
It's so many chances this game. That one at the back post that I thought was bad. It came over and he's hit it left foot.
Oh yeah,
and he's volleyed it into the side post, the side net, and he's just absolutely.
No, that was the one where he just piled it over the bar. You're thinking of the other one where he has the ball again there, and he cuts with his left foot, and then he hits the side netting.
Two of them mixed up, but there was two on his left foot.
Yeah, and then there's the other one, of course, where the ball comes straight across. You're thinking a player with full of confidence rolls that into the bottom corner. He's just hit it straight to the keeper. To be fair to Sanchez, does really well for that.
It was a good save because he got his arm out and it
came rushing out.
Hit below his elbow.
Again, with what we're talking about Ramsey, they closed the space really well. And of course, you can't. It's not all that Rashford has been poor. Rashford could have scored that if Sanchez hasn't done what he's done.
And then Sanchez, it was a wee bit of comedy of errors for the own goal. He should have got the ball, but
Man United thought they might have had a way back in, and of course there was Sanchez. He can have no complaints. He was just all over the place for the goal.
The checked handball, checked offside.
Yeah. Maybe I think the only one that maybe I was looking at thinking that could be something is the handball. It rolled down his arm, but I think it was the sleeve.
The sleeve roll done him,
and that's what gave him the goal. And they maybe had a chance to come back. I expect them to get a goal back. To be honest, I thought they would get a goal back. Ronaldo was on, but he just didn't look interested, did he? Not interested at all. He wants away. He wants out.
Yeah.
There was boos around the ground. They're in disarray right now, Man United.
Another really telling factor as well about Man United was 89th minute, triple substitution. They took Rashford, Fernandes and Luke Shaw for Malaysia. Fair enough, he came on, was terrible.
He's tiny, isn't he?
Yeah, they brought in Alanga, another young player. They're just trying to find a hero.
Garnacho or whatever.
Another young player.
Yeah,
why are they taking three of their main players off in the 89th minute?
I think Ten Hag, I don't actually think in this. He obviously wants to win the game, but I think at that point he's making an example of players that he wants to step up. and he's taking them off. I'm not happy with the way you've played today, and he's making them know that by taking them off late in a game where they're chasing the game, trying to get something from the game.
It wasn't over.
No, it wasn't over. They had that in 5 minutes if I added time. It was in the 89th minute, but they are wasting time at the end of the day, aren't they? That's what teams that are holding on to a lead do. And I know it's not really going to matter that much, but he was making an example of those players. He was not happy. The Man United fans certainly weren't happy.
Good off at half time and full time.
And Man United are looking like they're in trouble.
Very worrying times.
Very worrying times. Even they're not getting players through the door. De Jong's still not through. As I think Gary Neville said, it's the longer and longer it goes on. There's no relief. There's no he's come. No excitement. It's embarrassing now at this point, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the players that could replace that could be alternatives to him, like a Fabian Ruiz. It looks like he's going to PSG. Sangare just signed a new contract with PSV just there. It's not good times for Man United.
They've got a hard game next week as well, away to Brentford.
Yeah. Look at the way they were calling that. That's a hard game for Man United these days. That's what I mean. That's how the mighty have fallen. I've seen it myself. I'm going to mention Arsenal again. I love to. I've seen it myself with Arsenal. How poor we've been. How far we've fallen. We're starting to look better, which is why I feel a bit more comfortable saying this. But Man United, I feel like a lot of Man United fans are in that way.
It's your time to shine. Just slag the Man United fans.
Of course,
slag the Chelsea fans. It's your time.
Yeah, but it's up to Erik ten Hag. I think he's got to start building something. He's going to be given some time. The way maybe Arteta has been.
There was another thing that surprised me was as well. There was zero emotion from Ten Hag in the side of the pitch. I know he's Dutch and they're known for that character, but there was absolutely no shouting going on to these players. There was no emotion shown when they conceded goals. It was just straight face, walked out, walked back off, and the game was done. I mean, what can you even say about Man United at this point that's not been said for the last 3-4 seasons?
We'll sound like a broken record, won't we? Because we've spoke about them quite a lot as well, about how poor they've looked.
They played Eriksen up front as well.
Everything off the pitch, on the pitch, it's just not good. It's not a good time to be a Man United fan. And a complete parallel to that, Man City, who looked good, didn't they?
No, they looked like the best team in the world.
They did. They really did look like the best team in the world today.
The main question of before the season was answered as well. He is going to score lots of goals.
Yeah. The question was, we all knew he was going to score. It's how many is he going to score? And he's got 2 in his first game.
Brighton said after the game, we thought he was going to score 20, but it could be 30 or 40, and you can't really disagree with that, the way he played. The first goal, he's done really well to create the penalty for himself. Brilliant run. Gundogan played a nice wee ball in behind, and Areola's just flew out after only being on the pitch for about 3 minutes and took him out.
The penalty though. The penalty, the noise, the way it goes, it was the perfect penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No keeper, I mean, I know it's just in the bottom corner, but not many keepers are getting that, are they?
But when the penalty was given, we were sitting raging on the couch going, he's going to get an assist points here in fantasy, but then he stepped up, which we didn't think was going to happen. I
thought De Bruyne was getting it, but you saw him with the ball.
He wanted that goal.
He wanted it. And fair play to him. His family were there watching him, and they also got to watch him get a second, didn't they?
Yeah.
He got a second.
The classic Haaland goal in behind.
So fast, so powerful. He curbs his run as well, so that you don't have a clue. I was sitting there going, I have no idea where he's putting this. No idea. Oh wait, I do. He's putting it in the back of the net, just what side of the keeper. Like, it really, he slots it by the keeper, Areola. I thought he was maybe going to go near post.
I mean, the way he shaped his body, I don't think it was savable either way, unless he went down the middle. Because if he goes near post, he's absolutely rifling it, and Areola's got no chance.
He honestly could have chipped him as well.
Yeah, because Areola was quite far out.
He was just so good, and he's answered a lot of questions. A lot of questions that were raised, especially last week against Liverpool in the Community Shield. It's probably a big reason why a lot of people have taken him out of their fantasy football team. They don't know what to expect from him. How will he adapt to play with Man City? It's taken them a week.
You don't want to flop with Petrolette either, but he's took him off as well, which might show he's resting him for next week against Bournemouth. Actually, another thing that we should mention is the main positive I would find if I was a Man City fan with Haaland is his interview after the game.
What, we swore?
Shit. I said shit twice. No. He wasn't interested on his 2 goals, he was interested in the miss. See the header that he missed?
He wants to score that.
And the one back post where he should have gambled in and slid in. It was it looked so he was beating himself up about that after a 2-0 win where he's got the 2 goals. That is a really good sign for me if I'm a Man City fan.
Well, of course.
He is going to be so critical of his own performances and want to be better.
Don't worry, Pep will too.
Yeah, exactly.
Pep will let him know as well. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that dynamic evolves. And they're just going to look good. I think another big positive for Man City is they didn't look like they were struggling to. I think at the start of the game, actually, they looked like it wasn't quite working with Haaland and stuff. The same way it was last week. I think when he got that penalty goal, it all started clicking. It all started working. The amount of passes they had, I think it was one point they had 340 passes to West Ham's 40, and they looked like Man City, but with that added element of Haaland up front. And I thought a lot of people were worried that it wouldn't look like that.
And we watched the overlap. But when was that released? Last week. And Gary Neville said in that adding Haaland to your team might impact other areas like possession. They still had 75% of the ball to do. It didn't impact it whatsoever.
It's away at West Ham.
Yeah, it's a very hard game. They struggled there last season with a 2-8 draw.
For sure.
But no, just what else can you say about Man City other than they are the clear favourites and every other team should be very worried about
very worried. Very worried.
When did Arsenal play them?
Not for a while. I actually think we play them after the World Cup.
That could be a good thing if they're playing like this in the first week of the season. Maybe you'll catch them cold again after the World Cup.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. West Ham obviously didn't catch them cold though. I don't think though West Ham can take much really away from this. They had a few good counter-attacks. They didn't create anything clear-cut really, apart from a couple of chances at the start of the game. Man City just controlled them, and even David Moyes wasn't too fussed about it. He knows what he's up against. What can you do against this absolute machine that is Manchester City? The
machine with the machine with Haaland.
Yeah, exactly. It's just West Ham fans really shouldn't be too bothered about it. They'll see how they do next week. I think we said that they had Forest maybe.
Forest away.
Forest away. So we'll see how they do it again. We'll see how they do next week.
Stu is happy with this result. He had 2-0. And speaking of that, we will put on the screen now all the points that we accumulated this week. Callum's top with 10 points. Yeah, celebrate away. You won't be there for long. And Jacob and Aaron are having a joint trip to McDonald's with 6 points right now. But that'll be a good video.
That'll be a good video. We'll get them to vlog. Well, I'm already assuming that it's going to be one of those two.
No, the person will vlog certain parts of it. We won't make them vlog the whole time.
It'll be good fun. It'll be good fun. Stu needs to not. Stu's the only one I think will refuse to do this. Which is embarrassing, by the way.
But when we said the forfeit to Stu, he was a bit apprehensive before we even said the McDonald's thing.
But so of course you've seen the table that'll be updated every week with our game week predictions. Our predictions will come out every Friday as well
every Friday, and we will put the table at the start of every video on a Friday. So you can
see what's going on.
And every Monday when these videos are released, we'll also have the table in it. But they might not be fully up to date because there might be Monday night games. But the fully up to date one will be in every Friday. Every Friday. So
that's everything concluded on our Game Week 1 preview. Of course,
very good week.
Yeah, very good week. Very good week for me, Arsenal fan, of course. Your team Rangers did win as well. Of course, not the Premier League, but they've won twice as well. And of course, comment below what you've been thinking of this weekend. Will Haaland break 30 goals? Is that the question we're asking?
That'll be the question
we're asking. And give us a like and subscribe, guys. So thank you very much.